The following is a paid program for Joint Food with Tamasteen, brought to you by Nordic Healthy Living, a proud sponsor of the Arthritis National Research Foundation. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Hello, I'm Christine Bullock. Welcome viewers from across the country to House Call. Today we're talking about your joints, what to do about those aching knees, shoulders, hips, and fingers. People often ask me what I think about the latest miracle pill, cream, or device for their joints, promising a pain-free, active life. Boy, they sure do sound good, but do any of them really work? Stay tuned because my medical guest today says there is hope. He claims he's discovered something that truly lives up to the hype, and he says it's helping everyday joint sufferers quickly get active and mobile again without the aches and discomforts and stay that way. That's right, a real bona fide joint health solution, providing both fast and lasting relief while supporting healthier joints. A natural solution that works without the drugs or surgery to help keep people active and mobile into their 60s, 70s, 80s, and beyond. So if you're dealing with achy joints, keep watching because you won't want to miss this. Our guest today is a familiar face. You may have seen him on the hit TV series, The Doctors, or as a medical expert on television news or health programs. His name is Dr. Keller Wortham. He's a Los Angeles-based physician specializing in joint health and preventative medicine through his Southern California clinic. He's here today to tell us about a new patented ingredient originally from Europe that he claims will change how we live and age. He claims it can work for everyone: seniors, athletes, active people, couch potatoes, everyone. Let's go meet him. Great to meet you, Dr. Wortham. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Christine. It is great to be here.
So what about all those joint health products and ingredients on the market today? There's so many.
I know it might seem like that, Christine, but the joint health market has not had a major innovation in a long time, decades in fact. You remember CBD?
Oh yeah, that was supposed to be the miracle cure for aching joints.
Right, well, it didn't exactly turn out that way.
Why did it fail?
Well, partly because, like most joint products out there, it's an incomplete solution, sold to provide temporary relief, which frankly it didn't even do that well, while doing nothing to support the health of the joint itself, the actual cause of your aches and stiffness in the first place.
So tell us, what is new out there? What works?
Well, for the past 2 decades, some serious research in joint health and bone health too has been taking place in Norway with a group at Nordic Healthy Living in Oslo.
Why Norway? I always thought of Norwegians as super healthy, active people.
You're right, they're some of the most active people in the world. I mean, you see gyms everywhere. It seems like everyone either plays a sport or has an active hobby. But something happens to Norwegians when they get older.
What's that?
They fall apart. They have lots of joint and bone health issues. You see the same people walking around with canes when they get older. It's a big problem.
Wait, what? Norway is a wealthy country with great health care. Why is this happening?
You're right. It's a first world, affluent country. Norwegians shouldn't have so many joint health issues, but they do. It's why Nordic Healthy Living was formed, to find a solution to this problem. But what's most interesting for your viewers is what their research exposed about joint health in general.
What's that?
Well, it led Norwegian researchers to look harder at the natural aging process inside of the joint itself.
And what did they find?
So they discovered that the malnourished joint is more vulnerable to inflammation, to aches, and to injury.
Ah, okay. You're talking about joint nourishment.
That's right. So let me explain. You see, for your joints to be healthy as they age, they need specific nutrients that don't just target inflammation, but also support the health of your joint cartilage and connective tissue and the lubricating fluid around the joint called synovial fluid. We'll get to those later.
But what about relief now? People don't want to wait to feel better.
You're exactly right. People will not just sit around, literally, waiting to feel better. For example, there are some great natural ingredients out there that are effective for joint cartilage, but they take time to work, and people don't like to stick it out if they don't feel relief quickly.
That's what I found too. If they don't see and feel significant improvements in days, not weeks or months, they're gonna give up.
And that's what first drew me to Nordic Healthy Living's joint food supplement. It works quickly.
I do want to hear more about the joint food, but first, what does the House Call audience need to know about things they might currently be taking for their joints?
Okay, so in my opinion, Most well-known pain relievers and joint health products on the market fall into two categories. They're either one, dangerous, and in some cases may even be deadly, or two, ineffective.
What does that include?
So that includes over-the-counter and some prescription drugs, the glucosamine and chondroitin-based products, and even the popular omega-3 supplements.
Even omega-3 fish oils?
Yep, so even omega-3 products like fish oil or mussel or krill oil, they're good for your heart, but not the long-term answer for those stiff, sore, achy joints. None of these products provide the comprehensive solution your joints require as they age.
Okay, for audience members that may take these products, can you break down the pros and cons of the more popular ones?
Sure, okay, so the first thing people usually turn to when they have joint discomfort is aspirin or ibuprofen like Advil, or other non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs like naproxen, the popular brand being Aleve. And some people use acetaminophen, which most of us know is Tylenol. And hey, we've probably all taken these pills at one time or another. And yes, they can definitely provide some short-term pain relief, but they can also wreak havoc on your body over time.
So what about the natural supplements out there? Glucosamine and chondroitin seem to be the ingredient combination we still hear the most about.
Well, before you go spending any money on them, you should know that multiple large studies have shown that these ingredients, popular in so many joint supplements, were found to be no more effective than sugar pills.
Okay, so what about using high-dose omega-3 supplements for long-term joint health? Now you're telling us they can be dangerous for some people too?
So let me be clear. For heart health and brain health, I believe we should all be getting omega-3s naturally from the foods we eat. But too much fish oil can increase your risk of excessive bleeding, and it can even dampen your immune system.
And millions of seniors are on prescription blood thinners.
That's right, and blood thinning related problems from meds or supplements or their combination is the #1 overdose issue in emergency rooms for seniors. So combining these medications with fish oil capsules can be dangerous.
But what about the anti-inflammatory effect of fish oils?
Sure, yes, so there are studies showing some short-term anti-inflammatory effects, but very few studies that look long-term, and there are better natural inflammation-fighting ingredients out there.
Okay, what about those green lip muscle oil supplements? They've been pushed pretty hard in recent years.
Yes, they have, and I've looked into green lip muscle oil. It does look to be a decent thing for reducing inflammation, but that's about it, and the research is very limited. The bigger issue with all of these oils is that they only help to address aches and discomfort temporarily. They don't provide the comprehensive joint nourishment that you need.
How is that?
Well, they don't deliver the range of different nutrients your joints need for long-term health. And that's why I'm here today, Christine, to get the word out. From the drugs to the supplements, tens of millions have fallen for ineffective or incomplete solutions that over time can lead to less healthy joints, less mobility, and possibly even painful, risky joint replacement surgeries.
So what is the solution, Dr. Wortham?
Well, certainly the research and the studies and my own personal experience with patients have shown me that achieving long-term joint health and comfort requires a more comprehensive approach with key nutrients that actually nourish and support the health of your joint cartilage and synovial fluid and don't just mask the pain.
Okay, you're talking about joint food.
Yes, and it's called joint food because of the strong synergy between its 9 key joint nourishing ingredients. There are people around the world taking joint food daily and living happily and comfortably with increased mobility and without the potential side effects you see with other products.
That's amazing, and I've read it's no small success. Let's go now and listen to some real joint food users.
I used to spend the first half of a round just getting my shoulder warmed up before I could really swing. Before joint food, my pregame ritual consisted of painkillers, which I knew was bad for my body. With joint food, I feel great, and I'm taking care of my joints the right way, supporting my cartilage and my joint synovial fluid, which starts to go with age. I'm counting on joint food to keep me on the links. Just a couple of joint food pills a day, and after a few weeks, my shoulders felt 20 years younger on the golf course. Now, my shoulder feels loose from the very first hole, and I'm scoring better than I have in years.
Over the last couple of years, little things like not being able to open a jar have become a nuisance. But when it started to affect my career as a dancer, well, I knew it was time to get serious about my joint health. I've tried using wraps and creams, which offered some temporary relief, but an hour later, the aches and stiffness would come back. I knew that if I were to keep dancing, I needed something natural for my joints, something that not only provided relief, but also helped me with my joint cartilage and lubricate my joints too. So I turned to joint food. Within the first 2 weeks, I could feel my flexibility and movement coming back. And now I'm back to dancing, 2 to 3 hours a day, 7 days a week. Thank you, Joint Food, for bringing the joy back to my dancing.
Wow. Sounds like Joint Food is a proven formula with a pretty incredible track record of success. We'll talk more with a good doctor when we get back, but right now I want to give you a chance to call in and get more information on Joint Food. And when we return, Dr. Wortham will be in the kitchen so you can see firsthand all the natural ingredients and why they call it Joint Food. You won't want to miss this. Now, if you'd like more information on the Joint Food formula that Dr. Wortham is talking about today, or if you or a loved one are finally ready to stop the misery and start living a life with sore, stiff, aching joints, preventing you from enjoying the things that you love, then pick up the phone now and call the number you see on your screen. We've worked out a special arrangement, so when you do call, be sure to mention you're calling for the House Call special offer, and you'll find out how you can receive a free month's supply of Nordic Healthy Living's Joint Food, clinically shown to start improving joint comfort in just 5 days. As Dr. Wortham explained, Joint Food doesn't just mask the pain, it's the only complete formula that actually nourishes, feeds, and supports your joint cartilage and synovial system as well. Joint Food can help keep your joints healthy, flexible, and lubricated while naturally reducing those aches and discomforts. And I've also been told that for a limited time, we have some very nice additional free gifts today, including the doctor's easy-to-follow joint mobility and flexibility program with proven simple tips you can do at home. And when those joints or muscles are really aching and on fire and you need immediate relief, the first 500 customers will also receive a free tube of the doctor's Rapid Relief Pain Cream for quick, soothing relief where you need it. If you'd like more information on how to get your free month supply of Joint Food, the Mobility and Flexibility Tips booklet, and your free tube of the Pain Relief Cream, then all you have to do is pick up the phone now and give us a call. This special offer is not available in stores, so you must call now. Welcome back. Before the break, we were talking about what works and doesn't work when it comes to addressing what's aching your joints versus just temporarily masking the pain, and how your joints, like the rest of your body, need proper food and nourishment to get healthy and stay healthy as you age. Dr. Wortham, can you explain to the audience what you mean by joint food and joint nourishment?
Of course. So to best explain it, it's important to understand a few basic things about your joints. Why most of us will face some level of joint issues as we age, unless we do something about it. And to do that, I'm going to use the assistance of my little friend here.
I see you brought a knee joint with you. Do you always travel with a knee joint, Dr. Wortham?
Well, yeah, I've got the rest of the skeleton in my car if you want to see it.
That's okay. So will this be Anatomy 101?
I'm going to make it even easier than that, Christine. So a joint is simply the connection between two bones. Here we got the femur and the tibia, and then their surrounding structures that allow your ankles and your knees to bend so you can pick things up, or your hips to wiggle so you can dance, your back to bend so you can do things like yoga or gardening.
All the things people take for granted when they're young.
Yes, and healthy joints have this nice, smooth surface here called cartilage, and an important lubricant called synovial fluid. All of this cushions your joints so your bones don't rub together. But as you age, and then injuries in athletics or being overweight or other everyday factors, you begin to experience wear and tear on your joints. And as we age, even activities like playing golf or carrying your grandkids can increase the stress on your joints and contribute to wear and tear.
And when the aches begin, that's when most people turn to those temporary fixes.
And that's the problem. Your joints are put under enormous strain every day. Simply masking your discomfort with drugs or high-dose omega supplements, as millions of people do every day, is the wrong approach because they don't provide the environment of repair and healing that you need for your joints.
Okay, I follow. So getting back to your knee model, what does a worn-down knee look like?
Okay, so with age, this smooth cartilage on the top of the bone here becomes rough and it wears down. The joint cartilage gets thinner, And then there's less lubrication. And this can affect how you move. And that's when you start to get that grinding sensation, like rubbing bricks together. And your joints really start to hurt. That's because the ultimate solution lies in the health of the joint itself.
So what was it? What was the answer?
Well, the answer requires a more complete joint health solution, including a product that does 3 key things. 1, help promote a healthy inflammatory response in the joint. 2, provide key nutrients for the joint cartilage. And 3, nourish that all-important synovial fluid that lubricates the joint. Now, coming up with a product that could tackle all 3 of these areas was not easy. It took the synergy of 9 well-studied joint health ingredients to arrive at a product as effective as joint food.
Let's take a look at those magical 9 ingredients. Okay, let's see. I recognize the turmeric with that bright orange color, but not these other 2.
Well, if you lived in Southeast Asia, you would. All 3 of these are staples in the diet there. And all 3 are used in traditional Ayurvedic medicine to promote a healthy inflammatory response in the body. They each do it in different ways, yet they're synergistic, meaning each supports the other. And that's why Nordic Healthy Living combined them and called the blend Tamasteen. It's the result of years of research. So check out this chart. When it comes to providing both quick short-term relief and lasting joint relief, you need to satisfy what medical researchers call the 3 OXs, 3 pathways to healthier joints.
Now, it's my understanding that most over-the-counter drugs focus only on the COX pathway.
That's correct. And they do it in an unnatural, imbalanced way, which wipes out the other healing pathways in the body at the same time. Tamasteen provides fast-acting relief naturally, using what's called a full-spectrum turmeric root extract, the type of turmeric that was shown to be more bioactive and effective.
But isn't the downside of fast-acting COX pathway products is they only last a few hours?
You're absolutely right. But providing quick relief is important to joint sufferers.
I agree. So given your chart, I take it the other 2 things on this plate are tamarind seed and mangosteen fruit.
That is exactly right.
I've been hearing a lot about tamarind seeds in the recent years.
Here's the backstory on tamarind. It's extremely popular in Indian cuisine, where it's added to soups and other dishes, but it's the tamarind seeds themselves that provide the incredible health benefits for your joints. And this has been shown in multiple studies. The seeds are a popular snack in rural India where the people suffer far less joint health issues as they age. Tamarind seed extract is what makes Tamasteen so special.
I see from your chart that tamarind works on the slower acting LOX pathways in the body. Can you explain what that means?
Products that work through the LOX pathway take longer for you to feel relief, but the difference with this is the pathway benefits stay with you much longer as well. Weeks of support, not hours like the COX pathway products.
And then you've got mangosteen to further that antioxidant support?
Yes, exactly. So turmeric and tamarind are antioxidant powerhouses in their own right, but mangosteen contains a special group of antioxidant compounds called xanthones, which have unique healing properties. It really revs up the healing ability of Tamasteen.
That's very cool. Let's go now and listen to some real joint food users.
I've just been so happy recently. I'm back to going on long walks with friends and hiking my favorite trails. Living in Hawaii, there's just so much to see. But a couple of weeks ago, I couldn't imagine I'd be back to doing all of these things. I was just in a bad place and had been for quite a while. We moved to the island from Pennsylvania 2 years ago. Pennsylvania can be beautiful, but those winters, when we got here, the active Hawaiian lifestyle was everything I thought it would be, and nothing was going to stop me. Or so I thought. I'd had challenges with my joints in the past, especially when I overdid it, but I could always look past it and finish my hike. When my hip became a problem, I just couldn't look past it. It got to the point where getting out of the car, or even getting out of a chair, or getting out of bed was a challenge. And at night, I just couldn't find a good sleep position. I couldn't get comfortable with that nagging hip. And the most frustrating part was being sidelined from my hikes. I'd get going, but my hip would only let me get so far and I'd have to turn around. And anything challenging was certainly off the table. It was really depressing. I've tried all kinds of things for my joints through the years, supplements, all kinds of things really. But other than ibuprofen for temporary relief, which I knew was bad for me, I never really noticed any improvement with anything that I took. That was until I started taking joint food. The difference I noticed when taking joint food was truly noticeable. The first thing I noticed was my joints were just so much more flexible than they'd been in a long time. and I wasn't stiff or achy after exercise anymore. And the longer I took joint food, the better all my joints felt, especially my hip. In the first month of taking joint food, I was extending my walks each day and doing short hikes again. Now I'm hiking the steep hikes that I hadn't even thought about doing in over a year. And I'm even trail running again. Now I don't want to go back to where I was a few months ago, where most days I was stuck on the couch. Knowing what joint food can do and how good it is for my joints, I make sure I start each morning with it. Anyone with aging joints that wants to stay active needs this stuff. My advice, get on joint food as soon as possible. It worked for me.
Years as a professional athlete, it took its toll on my knees. Before joint food, I couldn't imagine I'd be out running and training again like I am now. I never really believed much in supplements, but joint food has changed my mind. This stuff is different. Over the years, I've tried different things to help my joints. I took fish oil for a while, and even glucosamine and chondroitin, but I never felt much, so I stopped. Joint food is completely different. It's like night and day. Within days, most of the stiffness was gone, and I am more flexible today than I've been in years. Joint food has got me back on the pitch playing soccer again. After all these years, I'm really playing, not just coaching from the sidelines. Thanks for bringing my old legs back to life. This time I'll take better care of the old knees with joint food.
Well, it was joint food that took away my aches and stiffness and got me back up and moving again. I live on the 3rd floor of an apartment building with steep stairs. Going up the stairs is fine, but down, my left knee used to ache. But after a few weeks of taking joint food, I'm now cruising down those stairs like a teenager again. At my age, my joints need all the help they can get. You know, some people still believe it's selfish to take time for yourself to exercise, but our bodies are gifts from God. The Bible says your body is a temple of the Holy Spirit within you. So you need to honor that body of yours by committing to exercise and taking care of it, so you can be there and be strong for your family. And joint food helps me keep that commitment every day. I used to get sore after doing my floor exercises, sometimes for days, and it slowed me down. But with joint food, I'm ready to go the next day without stiffness. It's really amazing. I want to keep active, walking and jogging every day under the beautiful California sunshine until I'm 100 years old. With joint food, I'm starting to think that's possible.
I work as a dental hygienist, and I love it. Preserving my hands is not something I mess around with. So when I started noticing more and more stiffness in my hands and my fingers at the end of the day, and in the morning too, I knew I had to do something. I started on joint food. I was never much of a supplement person other than a multivitamin from time to time, but I knew that I needed more than that, something with joint-specific nutrition. That's what drew me into joint food. And I gotta tell you, it really does what they promise. Within the first 2 weeks, my joints felt better. The aches and stiffness in my fingers were pretty much gone. And the longer I take it, it keeps getting better, which is great because now I can get back to my real passion. Thanks to joint food, I'm back to 100% at work and playing the piano again every day.
Wow, those are some truly amazing results, Dr. Wortham. Let's take a break to give our viewers a chance to call in and get some more information. Now, if you'd like more information on joint food with Tamasteen that Dr. Wortham is talking about today, then pick up the phone and call the number you see on your screen. Be sure to mention you're calling for the House Call special offer, and you'll find out how you can receive a free month supply of joint food, clinically shown to start improving your joint comfort in just 5 days. And we have some really nice additional free gifts with the House Call special today, including the doctor's easy-to-follow joint mobility and flexibility program with proven simple tips that you can do at home. And when those joints or muscles are really aching and on fire and you need immediate relief, the first 500 customers will also receive a free tube of the doctor's Rapid Relief Pain Cream for quick, soothing relief where you need it. So, if you'd like more information on how to get your free month supply of joint food, the doctor's mobility and flexibility tips booklet, and your free tube of the pain cream, then all you have to do is pick up the phone now and give us a call. This limited time special offer is not available in stores, so you must call now. Welcome back. Okay, Dr. Wortham. Now, earlier you mentioned that there was a major clinical trial done on Joint Food's Tamasteen ingredient combination.
That's right, and it was published in several prestigious medical journals.
So what did the clinical trial show?
Well, it was an 8-week, very comprehensive study, and remarkably, users began to see significant, noticeable improvements in joint comfort and flexibility in just the first 5 days.
And I see there were specific improvements in so many things. Less joint discomfort and stiffness, less difficulty walking and descending the stairs.
Yeah, that's right. And this just kept improving over time. In fact, there was an over 60% reduction in overall joint discomfort and an over 50% improvement in joint flexibility.
And wow, 3 to 9 times more effective than the placebo. Those are very impressive results. And I see there was even a US patent awarded.
That is correct, further validating what joint food users were already telling us.
Now it's getting towards the end of the show, Dr. Wortham. Any parting words for our viewers?
Sure, yes, and thank you, Christine, for having me on the show. So many of you out there struggle with aching, stiff joints that keep you from doing so many of the things in your life that bring you joy. But with Joint Food, you now have a safe and effective joint health solution that truly works. So my question is, if you aren't taking Joint Food, then what are you waiting for? You owe it not only to yourself, but also to your loved ones. Your joints and your family will thank you.
And thank you, Dr. Wortham, for being my guest today. Now, if you'd like more information on Joint Food, then pick up the phone and call the number you see on your screen. And when you do call, be sure to mention you're calling for the House Call special offer, and you'll find out how you can receive a free month supply of Joint Food. Plus, we have 2 additional free gifts, including the doctor's easy-to-follow joint mobility and flexibility program with proven simple tips you can do at home, and the first 500 customers will also receive a free tube of the doctor's rapid relief pain cream for quick, soothing relief where you need it. So, if you'd like more information on how to get your free month supply of Joint Food, the doctor's tip booklet, and your free tube of the pain cream, then all you have to do is pick up the phone now and give us a call. This special offer is not available in stores, so you must call now. This is Christine Bullock with House Call. Thanks for watching.
With Joint Food, I feel great, and I'm taking care of my joints the right way, supporting my cartilage and my joint synovial fluid. Now, my shoulder feels loose from the very first hole, and I'm scoring better than I have in years.
It was Joint Food that took away my aches and stiffness and got me back up and moving again. So thank you, Joint Food.
Within the first 2 weeks, I could feel my flexibility and movement coming back. And now I'm back to dancing 2 to 3 hours a day, 7 days a week. Thank you, Joint Food, for bringing the joy back to my dancing.
The preceding was a paid program for Joint Food with Tamasteen, brought to you by Nordic Healthy Living, a proud sponsor of the Arthritis National Research Foundation. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.